All right, I'm on hole number 3 of the Riverside tournament. I'm in the Tuesday qualifying round in the rookie division. Let's go check out hole number 3, and this is the first of the Glen Monarch holes. And this is Glen Monarch hole number 9. Now, I got some figuring to do here, Lucy. So okay, there's, in my mind, there's 2 ways to go down here. I'm thinking this, I'm walking it out in my head on how I want to do this. So the first way, and more than likely if you're playing from any tee other than the rookie tee, you'll bounce through, is one way where you're coming through this little tip. And so if you think about like where you're at on the tee box, way back here, if we just isolate the drive, so from either one of these tee boxes coming through on this line, trying to get out here, pretty much the best that you can hope for when you cut this tip off, like perfect areas. I think that this quadrant right here is the perfect area to be in. It's hard to get into that quadrant if you're taking this shot. You're going to end up more either up here in this quadrant, which is still good, or you're going to end up short back in this area. And your second shot coming in, if you're back in this area, you're probably going to need to bring a big dog, or you're going to need to bring an upper developed guardian, and you may have to do a max overpower shot against the wind to get up there with backspin. But what I'm trying to do is trying to hit this rough, trying to get my bounces such that I've got 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, clip the rough and bleed out and just end up right here in the spot. And so when you're taking this shot, think about your rings. Okay, you got 4 or 5 rings. Okay, and here's your dead center, and you're using an extra mile. That means each ring represents 2.1 if you've got an upper developed extra mile. 2.1 miles per hour. So when you're here and you hit a 1 ring, great, you're just off to the side, either side, but look at how that telegraphs, and you're doing this shot, or you're doing where you're off just a little. So as you're off there, here it's only 1 ring, but when you get to that rough, it's all a mile off. It's almost like at your second ring, you're 2 rings off, and at your third bounce, you're 3 rings off, and you are way off. So that means if you hit it great to the left, you're going to clip the fairway, and if you have too much topspin, you're going to end up in the rough. And if you hit it great to the right, you're going to be way the hell out here in the sand. I mean, like way out in the sand, because you're 3 rings off down there. So hitting this shot with a rock as opposed to a QB, because a rock's got more raw distance, and especially if you got a rock 8 or a rock 9, where it's just a little bit short of where an extra mile is. With a power 3 ball, you can just, using the wind, and the wind in this tournament's blowing in this direction, using the wind, you can get it so that you can get 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce, but you have to use the wind. And you don't want to do that shot with overpower, because you're trying to do a 3rd bounce rough bump. Overpower's not, you don't want that in the vocabulary at all. So what I'm going to do on this to help myself out is I'm going to bring a power 4 ball. And a power 4 ball getting down here will help. It doesn't help you as much on a drive when you're doing it, if you're doing the extra mile or an apocalypse, but it definitely helps you on the second shot, especially because then you really can bring a guardian, and this is much better with a guardian. So I'm going to bring a power 4 ball, a guardian, and a rock. So I got a rock, a power 4 ball, and a guardian. I wanted to kind of walk through it, and I just looked at my notes, and I have that exact thing written down. So that was the conclusion that I had come to from practice. I really want to make this drive shot, just try and standardize this drive shot a little bit. Is that the only one I have? My other way to go at it, and I really need to write this, there's 2 numbers that I need to write down for this tournament. I need to write down this apocalypse. I've taken the apocalypse on one of the holes, and it is at 1.5 per ring. Need to write that number down because I don't use my Apocalypse very often, and now that I have it to level 5 and I can, it was usable at level 4, but now it's even better. And I'm going to look at my Goliath because there's one of the holes I'm using a Goliath, so it's 1.9 per ring. I'll write that down, 1.9 per ring. Because that shot you can also take with this, and this is a much more accurate club, and it gives me the distance, and I wouldn't have to bring out a power 4 ball, but I could do it with my Apocalypse. But I think a power 4 ball will help me out on the second shot. Now it's a question of which power 4 ball. It's a power 5. I think the open ball is a power 4, side spin 4. That might help me down at the end to try and bring it around. Let me try that. Wind 2. Let's try that ball. I'm going to try that bag right there, and if I don't like that, I'm going to switch to that bag right there. That was a big long-winded thing just to get to the point where we're playing the hole. You got to walk through this stuff. So you got to be. The whole deal is you want to own the shots that you decide that you're going to take out there on the course. So as the rounds go on and you get further into it, you get more and more confidence with that shot, and you get to the hole. A lot of times you get to a hole and you go, oh my gosh, we're on this hole right here, and you start to. There's almost a panic sets in because it's like this hole right here is killing me. What you want to do is just try and standardize this drive shot. The drive shot is nothing more than a delivery to put you into a position where you can go up there and get your eagle in it and have some semblance of a shot at Albie. It's one shot at a time, and we're trying to make it so that the first shot is pretty easy. And I'm not sure that that's absolutely possible, but I think hitting perfect makes it a lot easier. That's for damn sure. That's perfect. That is a nice shot. That will work. That will work right there. I'm going to be right up against the red line. It's 3.7. Let me just do 3.7. I really want to watch to see where that bounces. Hitting it perfect. Really want to pay attention to where that third bounce hits. And that was right where I was at. So that was just a straight up adjustment. I had a little bit more room forward, so if the wind was pushing it farther forward, I had room. That is exactly where I want to end up. Now this next shot, I'm not sure going into the cup. The whole reality is you don't really have a great Albie look at it. I think where I'm at, I probably have as good an Albie look as you can get without being on the other side. So we'll have to see if the side spin can get me around to it, because typically you can't get all the way around to the hole. Nice. Nice shot. .2, it's 1.1, so there's 4. There's 4 rings. Maybe a little shy of that. Got to hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. I had to get it off real quick. I may have short shot that. This is not an area to be short shooting shots. Even from down there with the power 4 ball, right there where I was at, I would have rather had a big dog. was right on the verge where that Guardian didn't work. I really actually needed to be a little bit farther forward. I guess maybe the solution there is maybe a power 5 ball would help me. Not so much on the first shot, but on that second shot to get me farther up in the cup. Because if I can get over to the other side where without putting any topspin on, I'm already on the other side, then I can really start to guide. I can really start to guide that towards the cup. But in my opinion, this is not a really high, you got to be in the right spot and have everything right in order to give yourself a really serious shot at Albie. It's more important to make sure you just get up there and get your eagle, because a lot of people in your bracket are not going to get eagle on that hole. It's not to say that they still can't do really well on some of the other holes, but they're, I think I'm going to forfeit. Good luck in the tournament. Cut that. I think I have these par 3s down. Now that par 3 right there, I am trying a Goliath shot on, and that is the very next hole. So we'll try it out there. All right, I'll see you on hole number 4. That was hole number 3 of the Riverside tournament. Tuesday's qualifying round in the rookie division. Thanks for watching.